Like in Ayurveda, in any emergency or any acute conditions, we cannot do anything. We have to depend on the
Yeah.
thing, modern system only. And so, if the symptoms are so acute, so gratified that it's not within cure. In such cases, the option should be, as per the expertise of the modern medicine, the stem cells or steroid induction or antibiotics or antiviral, etc. And all. But nothing. They have been trying. They have not come up with anything. It's only trial again. Stem cells, I don't think it will be much this thing. I have not yet come with any solid this thing so far. And otherwise, I am not much aware of it also.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you
So,
see, most
Yes, come.
most doctors, you get 0 hours of stem cell biology in medical school.
yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people have heard about it, but there's no school that really teaches it. So
Exactly.
that's why I belong to the American Academy of Stem Cell Physicians, and we train doctors all over the world. We've had Indian doctors from Pakistan, Asia, all over Europe.
Mm.
So we meet about 3-4 times a year at our academy in Miami, just to teach everyone. So, but now we have to do our next workshop virtually because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's got to be difficult. I'm
So,
just
Dr. Yu, I think you should.
kid in school. What got you into himself? What created your interest?
Well, I worked in Korea for 10 years, right? And
Okay.
I did chiropractic medicine,
Acha,
and that's a lot
chiropractic.
of manual labor. When you treat someone with your hands,
Mhm.
there's a lot of energy that goes out of your body, and it wore me out. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So then I came back to the U.S. and I discovered I had sciatica, which is back pain that shut down my leg, and nothing helped, not even chiropractic. So I discovered this laser and decompression, and the laser got the pressure off my sciatic nerve, and it went away. And it was a German laser. So we started doing laser therapy, and so I invented the Laser Med Institute, and then a few years ago I hurt my shoulder doing CrossFit. I couldn't even lift my shoulder. I didn't want surgery.
Mm.
So I had the stem cell injected in my shoulder, and I lasered it, and now I can do my exercise again. I'm like, wow, this really works. So I started combining the laser with the stem cells, and that's why we're getting such great results. And they've done stem cell research in China on the COVID patients, and they've been able to completely reverse the lung damage and symptoms in 2 or 3 days. But people don't know that we all have stem cells. We're all born with it.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah, the problem is when you get older, your stem cell count dies, so you can't fight infections, because it immunomodulates your immune system, and you can't repair tissue. So we like to combine the light with the stem cells. The light stimulates the stem cells to grow. So yeah, let me show you a slide presentation here. Let me see if I can really share my screen here. It keeps on I picked entire screen. Here we go.
Don't pick the entire screen. So pick the other option, either the
Okay.
tab or application window. That would definitely work for you.
How about now? Can you see?
yes.
Oh, yeah, I know it is.
So picking the entire
All right.
screen would
I
might work sometimes.
was talking about earlier how the yogi sun gazers.
Okay, you need
see
to
when-
share a different screen. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Good.
Wow.
And that makes melatonin. That's a hormone that makes you sleep.
Yes.
And it also stimulates your circadian rhythm. That controls your biological clock. Right.
Metastasis.
And also it stimulates vitamin D3, and that's for your immunity, your hormones. It makes bone. So everything we deal with in our clinic starts with light, because that's the first thing that God created, right? And so light is a nutrition, but people don't know that. So it's very interesting how President Trump was saying we need to get UV light in the body to kill the virus. So my partner's in Washington, D.C. right now. I think he had a meeting with Vice President Pence. So I just showed him the video of Trump promoting the UV light. And I already have the technology. We actually have a watch you can wear on your wrist, and it goes and irradiates your whole body. So, but a stem cell is something we're all born with, and it could change into any type of tissue in your body to repair it. The problem is it's very hard to get. You can get it from your bone marrow. I don't recommend it because it's surgical and there's not a lot of stem cells in your bone marrow. You can get it from your fat. I don't recommend that because it is surgical. And the stem cells in your fat are just as old as you. So the best way to get stem cells is from when you're born. You see, when you're born, one out of every 10,000 cells is stem cell. But even after age 30, look how your count, it takes a dive. And after 80, you don't have a lot left. So that's why people over 80, they're the ones that have a higher probability of dying from COVID because they don't have enough stem cells to boost your immunity. So we take stem cells from umbilical cord. It's called Wharton's jelly. You see, it's like a tube, right, when the baby's born. So the baby's already born and healthy, and we're just taking the umbilical cord that's normally thrown out, and that has the highest count of stem cells and growth factors to repair the tissue. You know, many professional athletes, they fly to Europe to get this done. But what we do in the US, we stimulate the cells with light. Because if you just inject stem cells in the body, they tend to spread around because of second law of thermodynamics, right? Entropy energy. Things tend to get, fall apart. But if you laser it, the laser guide, it attracts the stem cells to the target tissue, your lung, your heart, your joints, and it stimulates the stem cells to grow. All right. And that's why we're getting all these results. Most of my patients are seniors, but they're getting these amazing results because, of the light, So
that's pretty interesting to use a laser light with the stem cell therapy.
Yeah. If you go to my YouTube channel, dryoutube.com, there's a video of William Shatner from Star Trek. He interviewed me on this Star Trek medicine. So, yeah. So
well, watch that. Everybody loves William Shatner. So,
yeah. Can I show you this stem cell video? Yeah. Watch this.
Go ahead, share it.
Yeah.
Is there sound with it?
It doesn't have sound?
You don't hear the sound?
No, I'm going to teach you how.
I'll just repeat. That's an exosome, and that goes to the. It has RNA messages, and that competes with the coronavirus to get to what's called the ACE2 receptor in your lungs and tissue. So the exosomes could bind to the receptor, blocking the virus. So exosome therapy is promising. There's going to be a study on that in the U.S. The stem cells as well. So this is the future of medicine. And here's a spinal surgeon, and now she's like, she'd rather do the stem cells instead of these invasive surgeries. And she thinks surgery is going to be like medieval medicine in the future. That's Dr. Mark Hyman from a Cleveland clinic, and he says, we have a failed medical system in the U.S. and we need to change it. That's Dr. Hariri. He's got a stem cell study going on using placental tissue for increased natural killer cells to kill the COVID virus. This is a spine surgeon. He has IRB approval for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Dr. Alt from Germany, he did stem cells for Jack Nicklaus, the golfer, and he fixed his back pain with the stem cells, and now he's free of pain. This gentleman was blind. He could not even pass his driver's license test. He passed his driver's license test 5 weeks after the stem cells, which fixed his eye disease.
Wow.
This person had chronic pain. He was in the Air Force. After the stem cell, now his pain is starting to melt away. He could lift his kids, start running again. There's a lot of FDA sanctioned studies. Chris Camilla, she did a lot of studies with reversing heart disease. Saw over 10,000 patients, not one side effect. Dr. Berman runs a cell surgical network. He says there's not one drug on the planet which is as safe as your own body's cells, because it's biology and it's not a chemical.
Yes.
It's Dr. Lander. He's in the cell surgical network. Obama signed the 21st Century Cures Act, which guarantees that Americans have the right to try stem cells. Although it's not approved yet, you can actually try it if you have a disease or disorder like chronic pain or cancer that has not been helped by all other, ways of treatments. Dr. Patel says if you're not learning about stem cells, you will be left behind. So yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Can I ask one question, please?
Yes.
Can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
So does the stem cell, it's very informative, Yogian, it's very interesting. But does the stem cell of the self will be more helpful, or it can be tried on other individual also?
So if you're very young, remember the stem cell chart?
Yeah.
If you're under 30, then using your own stem cell is probably the answer. They could just...
Okay.
Give it a second.
There's some technical. What I was suggesting to Dr. Yoo that I think they should invite a lot of people in Miami to create more awareness about the stem cell apart from doctors, because that's how we can create more awareness, and that's how the market grows.
Yeah, if you're over 30, then you should get the stem cell from the donor, the donated umbilical cord. The baby's already healthy and delivered. There's nothing unethical. Usually they throw the umbilical cord out, right? But now the lab is taking it, like Dr. Sin yesterday. He takes the umbilical cord, he takes the stem cells out, he can grow them, so you have millions injected back into you. It's great for joint pain, neurological disorders, COVID virus, increased natural killer cells to kill it. So I think this is the answer, because they already did this in China for the COVID patients, and there's already studies that got rapid approval by the FDA to use the stem cells to, eradicate the COVID virus. So very exciting technology.
Have they shared any of their research? Have they actually shared some of their white papers and documents on this?
Yeah, so let me see if I can get one out here. If you Google stem cell therapy China COVID-19, you will see there's published papers.
Stem cell therapy COVID-19.
With the research, what would it take to start developing what we need for the?
Well, that's why I'm working with Dr. Sin. It's very expensive to do these clinical trials, and we're looking for a lab or an investor to fund the study, and that way we can do it correctly. So we're talking to an investor. Actually, he's in Mexico, and he's very interested because his son has autism. And did you get the autism docuseries I sent you? You got to watch that. I mean,
so I think there is some technical problem at Dr. Yoo's system.
Vaccines have formaldehyde, thimerosal. They have aluminum. They have mercury. These are known toxins.
They have
aborted fetus parts. It's crazy what they put in you. It's so unethical. And the studies done in the vaccine, they're very small studies, and they're not relevant. They leave out the
picture.
Vaccine